this is where I've been itching to pick your brain.
Where you going?
Hutch.
Where you going?
We've been texting each other throughout this match, throughout today, and again, Spurs absolutely embarrassed at Brighton. Brighton, who have struggled even to win at home. We know that Spurs have issues on the road as well, have not won in the Premier League since January this year still. But surely this match was for the taking, to bounce back with some sort of message after being humiliated by Bayern just midweek.
It was the perfect game, wasn't it? You know, you go to Brighton, who play attractive football. All of a sudden, it was the nightmare because, you know, they scored 3, Brighton, but I have to say, the way the game flowed over 90 minutes, they battered Tottenham. You know, not in terms of could have been 6 or 7. I mean, the Brighton fans were shouting 7 and they were taking the mickey slightly after that Bayern result. But the way the game was flowing, you know, Aaron Moy had his best game. You know, they were a threat up front. Connolly got his goals. And the way they played, they tormented Tottenham and made them look bang average this afternoon. And
just looking or listening to what Mauricio Pochettino had to say after the game, and I suppose he summed it up in saying, you go down about 3 minutes in, you lose your captain, your top goalkeeper, in Hugo Lloris, who, by the way, Spurs have confirmed that he has dislocated his elbow. It is not a fracture, but they're still going to assess him to see just how much time he's going to spend on the sidelines. But he said, look, they just didn't really recover from that. Is that a good enough excuse for you?
I don't buy that excuse. I think he said that they never got over the emotion of losing their goalkeeper after 3 minutes.
You still have so much time left.
87 minutes to be precise to get over that one. But I looked at a group of players today and I just thought, I'm not so sure you're putting a shift in for the manager. The cameras kept panning on Lucas Moura on the bench and I felt so sorry for him. What more can he do? You know, for Spurs fans and for Pochettino especially, and for himself, because every time he comes on the pitch and every time he starts, he's a game changer. And I just wondered, at what point does Lucas Moura think about saying, I've had it here, my time is done? Maybe it might be in the summer where he puts a transfer request in, because he is too good for Tottenham at the moment to be left on the bench, watching that group of players today underperform.
So you think that those players definitely just are not giving 100%?
I understand there's a total lack of confidence. I totally get that.
So that's it, not that they're not buying into the manager's message or agenda anymore.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the players might be tired of Pochettino's methods. You know, I go back when Pochettino came into this side, into Tottenham, and he's been there 4 or 5 years now. The back 5, apart from Kyle Walker, has never changed.
Yep.
Since Jurgen Klopp's been at Liverpool, it's all changed because he recognises that's where Liverpool were weak. And maybe Tottenham's back 5, and I include the two centre-halves, Alderweireld and Vertonghen in this, they are a shadow of the players that they were playing for Tottenham 3, 4, 5 years ago. They were at their peak. I'm watching them now getting torn apart by Bayern Munich, which it can happen, but I'll watch them again getting torn apart by Brighton. That should not happen. And maybe I'm looking at a group of players who are probably not listening to the message of Pochettino anymore. So it's a culmination of both. Pochettino is not getting his message across, and maybe they really need a big shake-up in the transfer market in the summer, and they need some fresh blood.
Well, again, just interesting comments from Mauricio Pochettino after the match as well. He also said that he felt that this is probably the first time in 5 years that he's felt that his Spurs have really hit a bit of a rough patch, where there is no unison, or we're not feeling that there's any unison in that dressing room. And like you said, players probably not so confident in his message again. So what does that mean then going forward now for Spurs? Does this mean that Poch could be on borrowed time?
I don't think he'll be on borrowed time in terms of him getting the sack for Daniel Levy. I don't think that's going to happen, but I know he's quite an emotional man. He's quite forthright in his opinions, and if he thinks the best thing for Tottenham might be for me to walk, he will do it. The next 10 days, with an international break, is going to tell us exactly what he's thinking, because if he grinds and he works the players hard and they buy into the message where, yes, they've got a lot of time on the training ground to get things right, you might see Tottenham's results have an upturn. At the same time, I'm watching that group of players thinking they are so devoid of any confidence. It's hard to see at the moment where they're going to get out of this.
All right, well, we'll just move back to the Hugo Lloris chatter in that, of course, after we confirmed that he had suffered a dislocated elbow. We're still waiting to hear how much time he will spend on the sidelines. I almost want to ask you just how much of a blow is this for Spurs, given the fact that here's an interesting stat that since the 2016-2017 season, he is number 2 on the list of goalkeepers that have committed the most errors that have led to goals. Behind only Birdlino, and that almost surprises me, because I'm like, this is Hugo Lloris, for goodness sakes. He's a top man. He's a skipper.
World Cup winner.
He's Julia Laurent's BFF for life.
Is he?
Exactly. He's always texting him. So is this going to be that much of a blow, or is this just time for both of them to sort of reset?
I don't think it'll be that much of a blow. Not in terms of him being a good keeper, because I don't think there's much difference between him and Gazzaniga, if I'm honest.
Wow.
When you've lost a little bit of confidence, listen, no one wants to see someone get injured and go out the side, but it might be a blessing that when Hugo Lloris is on the treatment table and doing his recovery and his rehab, sometimes it's good to be out of a certain situation when the players in front of you are not playing well. You're leaking goals. Yes, because it's been your fault and the players in front of you as well. It might be a good time for him to go out of the side, rebuild his confidence, get fully fit again, and then come back extra motivated, because at the moment he's not playing well, but he's not the only one.
When it rains, it pours for Spurs. That indeed. Well, I guess the international break could not have come any sooner than for
Absolutely.
them.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.